People who live in the city say the nights feel different there. Not darker, just quieter, as if the streets are listening. Traffic noise thins out. Streetlights feel too bright, and the air grows heavy, damp, and expectant. It was during one of those nights that police were called to an old residential building for what was reported as a medical emergency. What they found instead became one of the most disturbing, unsolved cases the city has ever buried. At 4:12 a.m., the building's night watchman made the call. His voice, preserved in the emergency recording, was shaky and fragmented. He said the basement storage room door was open. That door was never open. It stayed locked, always. When officers arrived minutes later, they found no sign of forced entry, no broken lock, no splintered wood, just silence. Inside the storage room, a man was sitting on the floor, his back resting against the concrete wall. His legs were bent neatly. His hands rested on his knees. His head was slightly bowed, like someone pausing mid-thought. His clothes were clean. No blood. No wounds. From a distance, he looked alive, just tired. Up close, that illusion collapsed. The man was dead, but his body temperature was normal. Not cold, not cooling. Normal. His heart wasn't beating. His lungs weren't moving. Yet his skin held warmth, as if time had stopped for him alone. When paramedics examined him further, they discovered something that made several of them step back in silence. There was nothing inside his chest. No heart, no lungs, no internal organs at all. There were no surgical cuts, no incisions, no scars. The skin was completely intact, smooth, unbroken. According to every law of biology, this body should never have been able to sit upright, let alone appear so recent. One medical examiner later stated, off the record, that it looked less like something had been removed and more like the body had been finished without being completed. The man was identified as Imran Halim, 38 years old, an accountant who lived alone in the building. No criminal history, no enemies, no known medical conditions. His apartment showed no signs of struggle. Nothing was missing. His phone was found on his bed, unlocked, battery full. The last message he typed was never sent. I think someone is here, but that was it. CCTV footage from the building was reviewed. Cameras covered every entrance to the basement. No one was seen entering or leaving the storage room all night, not even Imran himself. At 3:41 a.m., however, the footage glitched for exactly 1 second. When the image returned, the storage room door was open. Technicians later noticed something stranger. During that single second, the camera's internal clock shifted backward by 27 seconds. The autopsy raised even more questions. There were no toxins in Imran's blood, no signs of suffocation, no trauma, but neurological scans showed faint patterns that shouldn't exist after death. It suggested that the brain had remained active briefly after the body had shut down, as if awareness had continued without the systems required to support it. Residents of the building were interviewed. Several reported unusual experiences that same night. One woman said she woke up convinced someone was standing beside her bed, watching her breathe. A man on the 3rd floor said his bathroom mirror fogged up from the inside, even though the room was cold. A child told his mother he heard a man in the basement screaming without sound. At the time, these statements were dismissed as stress reactions after the discovery of the body. The case was officially labeled an unexplained physiological anomaly. Files were sealed. The storage room was closed off. The building was renovated. Life moved on, but the basement never changed. Even now, the temperature there is consistently lower than the rest of the building. Maintenance workers refuse to stay inside the storage room for long. They describe a sensation of pressure in their chest, followed by sudden lightness, like something inside them is becoming optional. One worker quit after claiming he felt his heartbeat slow the longer he stood near the wall where Imran was found. Imran Halim's death remains unsolved. No suspects, no theories that would stand scrutiny, no explanation that fits the evidence. Years later, when the case file was reviewed again, an investigator noticed something no one had documented. On the final page, written faintly in pencil, was a sentence that did not match the handwriting of any officer involved. He didn't lose his organs. Something realized it didn't need them. To this day, the city keeps that basement locked. And some nights, when the streets fall unnaturally quiet, residents swear they hear a soft scraping sound below their feet, like someone dragging themselves into position, trying to sit exactly the same way again. The case remains officially unsolved.